But if they don't do these things, if they don't get this shit cleaned up, because they're running out of time, if they don't get this cleaned up and cleared up, then Jey Uso may very well go down as the worst Royal Rumble winner of all time. Boom, bam, bam. Wrestling fans, we in. Ice P, he in. WRP, we in. Wrestle Rap Podcast, we in. Okay. You know what I mean? So I have a few things that I want to get off my chest and talk to y'all about real quick. So let me rap to y'all real quick. Is that okay? Huh? Is that okay? Is that all right? Okay, well, I hope so. Okay, so let's go. Okay, and the topic of today, the question I want to ask myself, and I said instead of just asking myself, I'm going to ask you and me at the same time, simultaneously. We're going to figure this thing out together because we got a problem on our hands. We got a crisis on our hands. Something in the WWE is in jeopardy. You understand what I'm saying, man? We got something in critical condition. All right? And that's the question I want to ask. Hey, Jey Uso, Gunther versus Jey Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. Listen, y'all, it's in critical condition. It's in critical condition, man. There's nothing more to say. All right? The only thing we can talk about now is can it be saved? I would like to see it saved. I feel like y'all will be on board as well. So, I mean, it's already decided that that's going to be a match that takes place. I mean, it is main event Jey Uso. He did win the 2025 Royal Rumble match to go to the main event. There was some debate early on if it's going to be the main event. Is it going to main event night 2? No. Was it going to main event night 2 before we found out that it was going to be John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? No. Is it going to main event night 1? Was it going to main event night 1? It was possible at the time when it first happened. Now? Oh, this is like a show opener right now, dog. And the show opener is a good spot, but I mean, man, they could have built this thing up with the right amount of heat, man. Get this guy what he needs. It's in his moniker, main event, Jey Uso. Give him one. He won the World Rumble, for God's sakes. That's supposed to guarantee you a main event slot. But, it's in jeopardy. What is this going to go on second? That's got to be the worst slot of the night if you go on second. And right now, the way this thing is being booked, the way the rivalry is being put together, this might be like the second match of the show on night 1. Ugh. Anyways, I hope this can be saved, man. I hope this can be saved, man. Y'all got to do something, man. Y'all doing that lazy booking right now with this one, man. So I'm going to break this down like I like to do in 3 parts, all right? Keep it a bit more easy for me to compartmentalize, all right? Keep it a bit more organized, easier to digest, easier for me to convey. You know what I'm saying? All right, number 1. Hey, man, why in the blue hell is Gunther having competitive, close call, back and forth, barely surviving type matches this close to WrestleMania? Not only is he having these type of matches, which he should not be having at all, as Gunther, really, but this close to WrestleMania, and then on top of that, he's having these matches with like underneath guys. He's having these matches with lower card guys. Like Tozawa? I feel like even Tozawa got too much offense in, and I get what they're trying to do, saying Jey Uso is a clown, is what Gunther was saying to Jey Uso. Fine, interesting concept. Let's take advantage of it. I don't really think they ended up taking advantage of it that well. He faced Tozawa. He's supposed to just absolutely brutalize Tozawa. I feel like Tozawa even got too much offense in that match. All right, but I understand what they were trying to do. What Danny faced, fine, respectable, fine. Is it Tozawa's American Alpha Academy tag team partner is gonna come into his defense? Hey, then Gunther faced Otis. And Otis is a big guy. Fine. Okay, fine. Just it's naturally going to make a bit more sense. He's a big guy, hard to take down, hard to tackle. He can lift up Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Even then, man, that would have been an example. Like, I don't give a damn how big you are, Otis. I'm going to still whoop your ass, chop you in the chest, throw you all over this ring and fuck you up. That should have still been the point because he needs to convey that message to Jey Uso. Like he said, he's promised Jey Uso this is going to be the most violent display imaginable. That's what I'm going to do to you at WrestleMania if you fuck with me. If you step inside the ring with me, the ring general, that's what's going to happen. So anybody in his path the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, he's supposed to absolutely demolish and decimate. All right? To show Jay, hey, this is just going to happen to you. If you step in the ring with me, this is what I do to people. I brutalize people. You're trying to create a story. Okay, this is the story that they had in place. And this is the story that organically brewed because a lot of people are doubting Jey Uso. So why not just go all in on the story? You got an absolute overdog. That's really how Gunther has always been booked, especially when he was been booked at his best. He was an absolute overdog that would just run through people. All right? Unbeatable. He had the Intercontinental Champion for what, like almost 2 years, some shit like that? Unbeatable. All right? You need to have him as the absolute overdog. And Jey Uso is supposed to be the absolute underdog. So you need to be displaying that every week, week to week. Putting on a showcase for Jey Uso. Hey, man, come to ringside. Come sit right here. Get yourself comfortable in this commentary. Sit beside Michael Cole and Pat McAfee and watch as I absolutely destroy my opponent every single week. And this is what's going to happen to you. Put on a violent display. And I mean violent display. I mean when Gunther was Walter type shit. Like, I want to see I want to see the chest just chopped up and welts on the chest type shit. Like, send that. Give Jay a physical example of what the hell is going to happen to you when he steps between those ropes. I don't get it. Instead, he's facing guys just because they happen to be in Barcelona, Spain. Axiom, I didn't even... Listen, not everybody watches NXT. First time I seen this guy, God bless him, but it's a smaller guy. The guy kicked out of the powerbomb. The guy kicked out of Gunther's powerbomb. Why is this man having these close call? Barely survive. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I just held on in this match, just got the victory. Like, he's supposed to be demolishing, squashing, decimating, destroying these guys, and especially these underneath. Just because they're in Barcelona, Spain, fine, put that in a dark match. Why is that on Monday Night Raw for the whole world to see? He had to struggle with that guy, and he's supposed to be able to demolish Jey Uso? What story are they trying to tell? Isn't Jey Uso supposed to be the underdog? You're telling me Gunther could barely beat Axiom? Just because this guy's from Spain, we got to hype him up and make him kick out of a Gunther powerbomb and last, 10 plus minutes with Gunther and make Gunther have to struggle for that victory? That's such a confusing story. This makes no sense the way it's being booked right now. I don't get it. Blows my mind. I don't know what the hell they're doing in the booking. Like, it's already flat and boring. But then you took the concept that you already had in the palm of your hands and you're just squandering that too. That was the organic concept they have. Overdog, underdog. Now you're just making Gunther just have to compete in these long, drawn out, barely holding on matches. For what? For who? So we can be like, oh yeah, he ain't really that hard to beat. If Axiom, this guy that none of us know, almost beat Gunther, Jey Uso, that's a much bigger superstar, shouldn't have too much of a problem. Anyways, number 2, dog. Okay, number 2 is my problem too, man. Like, listen, man. As far as the storyline being flat, kind of boring, what happened to the Jey Uso from the Bloodline era? The Jey Uso that was telling compelling, emotional stories with Sami Zayn, with Roman Reigns. Come on, he was the star. Like, he was the undercover, the underground, you know what I'm saying? Like that off the bench type star player in that era, in that Bloodline era. Like, he was the true, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was his moment. That was his breakthrough performance in the Bloodline times. What happened to that guy? Like, he's just kind of what Gunther is saying, and that's why they should have really took that and ran with it. Kind of has become a little bit of a meme, a little bit of a mascot. What happened to that guy that had more body to his character, that had more layers to his character? He used to go deeper when he was in the Bloodline. Like, he really made those moments. He made so many of those moments special in the Bloodline. It wasn't just Roman. Like, Jey was that guy. That, as a matter of fact, the time he spent during that era is what catapulted him. That's what took him to the next level. That's what's now the reason why he's been promoted to the current spot that he's in. It's from the work he put in that era, the character work, the emotions, the facial expressions you've seen, the heartbreak when he was torn between whether he should stick with blood, stick with family, or go holler at Sami Zayn and, help out Sami Zayn. And does he, you know what I'm saying, respect this friendship that he's got going on with Sami Zayn, this bond that he's created with Sami Zayn? And that was a huge moment. Remember that moment when he was like, just, he couldn't believe what happened and he was just torn and he didn't know what to do, and what Jimmy Uso super kicked Sami and he was just like, come on, like, where is that guy? He used to cut some promos too. Like, he used to have that anger and that power in his voice. He didn't really put himself as such an underdog. Like Sami is still more of a natural underdog. I get it. Jey Uso is a tag team guy. Yes, fine. Like, he automatically is gonna get thrown into an underdog role in our eyes, and he's a twin on top of it, for God's sakes, right? But when he was in the Bloodline, it didn't really have that vibe. I mean, of course, he had the long reign as tag team champions with his brother Jimmy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really present himself as that. He used to be the Uso Penitentiary. Like, they were gritty, they were hardcore with it. Like, I like that vibe. Now he's just too laughy, man. And this is like a problem I have, man. It sucks sometimes when you got these great heels that had this anger, had this aggression, had that mean streak, and then they become a baby face and they just lose all of that and they just become kind of nerdy. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's become nice guy now. He's nice guy, Jey Uso. Like, you know what I mean? So if you're gonna put him in that underdog role, at least make him play the underdog role to the maximum. Like, what are they doing right now? They're making this man go against Austin Theory. You know what I'm saying? And the next guy that hangs up with Austin Theory, what's his name? Grayson Waller. All right, Grayson Waller for y'all nerds. Y'all like, yo, it's Grayson Waller, man. You should know your stuff. You're on these videos presenting yourself on screen. You should know all this stuff. You should have the information at the top of your head at all times, man. Sometimes I forget, man. Fuck, man. Whatever, man. It's life, all right? Grayson Waller is going against these guys for what? For who? How does that do anything? These are underneath guys right now. And let's not disrespect any of the talent, because it's not all their responsibility. There's so many layers to why guys are on the top of the card, why guys are on the middle of the card, why guys are on the bottom of the card. But right now, these guys are at the bottom of the card. And that also was the problem with putting Jey with Tozawa and even having Gunther face Tozawa and anybody from the Alpha Academy, is that these guys are right now classified as underneath lower card guys. And you're going to place them with that. This is a World Heavyweight Championship rivalry, World Heavyweight Championship feud, and you're gonna pair Jey Uso and Gunther even with these guys that are at the bottom of the card. What does that bring them? We're already saying they're nowhere close to Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Roman, Seth, Punk. They're not even close to that level. At least y'all got to give them something to compete with. But y'all are having to mess around, play around, fuck around with guys at the bottom of the card. That's going to rub off on them and take them further down the card. And that's why before there was a debate, well, is this match going to be the main event of at least night one? No, it's definitely not going to be no goddamn main event of night one whatsoever. And it's getting to the point with this rivalry where at first I was like, even if this is not a great match, people are going to be excited to be eaten. Like when Jake, I mean, we hope that's going to be the conclusion at WrestleMania when he does capture that World Heavyweight Championship. The whole stadium, the whole place, everybody in Vegas is going to be eating, and it's going to be a crazy sight to see. And they got the drone footage, and they're going to go all out with that. They're going to give us the works production-wise when it comes to all that motion in the arena, and that's going to be a moment, and that could be the whole reason why they even had him winning at the World Rumble, just so we can see the whole wave of eating, and that's the whole moment, picturesque vibe they're trying to create. Fine, fair enough, but I don't even feel like people are excited to eat anymore. That's how stale, that's how boring, that's how flat this rivalry has become, which is a goddamn shame. Okay, so my last point to make is, they need to make the save on this thing, okay? If they're going to clean this shit up, if they're going to take out the brooms and take out the mop and mop the floor and get the floor back squeaky clean, and fuck the mop shit, at least sweep the floor, you know what I mean? A couple pieces of debris could be still left around, but do something, man. Get a couple guys out there sweeping the floor to clean this whole thing up a little bit at least. Shit, god damn it. They're gonna have to do a few things here, man. Number one, like I was already saying really in the first point, Gunther needs to be destroying people. I don't know why he's having, once again, it's just mind blowing. I don't know why he's having these silly ass, long ass AEW style, lengthy ass, competitive ass matches with random underneath lower card guys. It doesn't do nothing for Gunther but make him look like an underdog, make him look like he has to struggle to beat people. That makes no sense. So why is that happening? I don't know. All right, they need to clean that whole shit up. All right, within the weeks they have left leading up to Mania, and it needs to be chopping people in the chest and just beating people up, mashing people up, destroying people. Just a physical, murderous, violent beatdown every week. That's what he needs to be doing. He needs to be inviting Jey. Come on, ringside. Let me show you how the ring general does this. Come on, ringside, Jey. Come on, ringside. Matter of fact, I'll buy you a front row ticket. Come watch me. And just destroying people. The Gunther of the old. Like, what happened to that guy? Man, sometimes I'm like, man, this guy should have kept the weight, by the way. He's a little too skinny, man. Like, I know he's a strong guy, but he's a little too skinny nowadays. Back when he had that little extra thickness, the extra weight, it was more believable that he would, you know what I mean? Well, shit, now he ain't even really wrestling like that. I don't see that vicious violentness that he used to have. Like, the reason why Sami Zayn beat his ass for the IC title is, and side note here, I guess it'd be kind of interesting if Jey Uso does win the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther. You would assume that, hey, we could do a Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship somewhere down the line, right? Anyways, when he lost to Sami Zayn, Gunther, it's because he kind of took his eye off the ball. Like, he kind of played with Sami Zayn. He kind of underestimated Sami Zayn. He was joking around. He was laughing. He's like, oh, he's not taking him serious. That's why he lost the Intercontinental Championship, which is about, I mean, he held that. He elevated that championship. He made that almost like a main event championship. You know what I'm saying? Right? Especially when they really just had the one championship at the time, because Roman was just running shit for like 4 years. So when he lost to Sami, that's why. And it's like, what, he doesn't remember? He's going to make the same mistake with Jey. He's going to underestimate him. He's going to play around. Like, let's just see this guy kill people, man. I'm tired of it, man. Joke thing, man. Foolishness. All right? In number two, hold on, man. My shit, I can't even see myself now. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, number two. Not number two. It's really I already did number one. I did number two. This is number three. That was the first part of number three. When I'm talking about Gunther, what we need to do to save this match, save this rivalry, save this WrestleMania main event. All right. So number three B now. All right. They need to make Jey look strong because one of the main concerns and criticisms for Jey Uso is he hasn't really had a standout great match since he became a singles competitor, or at least in a long time. Because that Hell in a Cell match he had with Roman, what was that, back in 2020? Really, when they kicked off the Bloodline era, to me that was an absolute classic. That was like a perfect example of exactly what a wrestling match and a story. Perfect example of what a wrestling match should be and how you should tell a story in wrestling between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in that match. I Quit match in the Hell in a Cell. Everything was just done perfectly in that match. So if you haven't seen it, go back and see it. Matter of fact, fuck it, I'm gonna go back and see that one. Yeah, he hasn't had that standout match really since that time frame. Since the Yeet era. That match with Jimmy was very, 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 very underwhelming at last year's WrestleMania. And he needs that. So what they need to do right now, instead of having him just randomly beat guys like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, which was crazy that he beat Austin Theory. They called it a crossbody. I believe Jey was trying to deliver a spear, which I think is whack, by the way. Was he really trying to be Lil Bro by Roman Reigns by doing his spear and doing a very, very weak spear? Very weak spear. I feel like that was supposed to be a spear. Michael Cole said crossbody, 1, 2, 3, burying, destroying Austin Theory, man. He's getting killed. Anyways, it's pointless victories against those guys, even if he won in such short order. So funny how Jey wins in pretty much a squash-like fashion, but Gunther has to fight for 15 minutes for some unknown guy from Spain. And some of y'all gonna be, yo, we know he's an NXT. Not everybody watches NXT. I'm talking about the main roster viewers. I'll get into it eventually, man. It's too much wrestling to watch. Raw, SmackDown is way too goddamn long these days for me. I had to watch this shit multiple days on 1.25 speed. Y'all want me to watch NXT now too? Not everybody has the time, all right? You know what I mean? Anyways, so they need to pair him up with guys like that can really give Jey an incredible showing, that can really give Jey a top quality match. That you put him in the ring with these guys, with this guy, Jay's gonna end up looking like $1,000,000. That's what you need. Give him some of his best matches right now, leading up to WrestleMania. So he looks as good as possible going into WrestleMania. Like, listen, man, put him against Chad Gable. You can't go wrong with Chad Gable. Chad Gable makes everybody look good. All right? Put him in the ring with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne. Listen, to me, Pete Dunne should have been the guy having that mini feud with Penta. You know what I mean? Ludwig Kaiser, yeah, he was kind of, I don't know, he wasn't as smooth when it came to Penta. Pete Dunne had some incredible matches with Penta. Pete Dunne's nice, man. All right? Put Jey with Pete Dunne. Okay? Put Jey with Carmelo Hayes. Okay? Put Jey with Kofi Kingston. That's a guy he has lots of history with, lots of chemistry with. Make Jey look as good as possible going into WrestleMania, so at least we can silence some of those critics, or at least we can convince them that, you know what, hey man, Jey can go. And this is going to be a good match. It's not just going to be about the yeet. Okay, it's not just going to be about the victory, the win, and the overcoming the odds as an underdog and getting the yeet and the crowd to yeet in that moment. It's actually going to be a quality match. Put him in the ring with guys like that, because he ain't looking good right now. He still hasn't had that match, and that's kind of crazy. Like going into a World Heavyweight Championship match, and he's still not really having solid matches. So do that. Build him up like that. You don't really need to present him as the underdog right now because it's really Gunther that he needs to be presented as the underdog towards. You just need to have him solid, good, you know what I'm saying, competitive matches with guys like that that can make sure that Jey looks as good as possible. Prepare him for Gunther going into WrestleMania. Change the minds of some of these fans that say Jey has no work rate. You know what I'm saying? Change some of their minds. Clear that up a little bit and then make Gunther look as dominant as possible. And you can still present Jey a little bit of an underdog in these matches. All right? And that's what they need to do, man, because if they need to clean this shit up. This is looking crazy right now. They need to clean this up. And, that's what needs to happen in order to make sure that we have something to look forward to. Because right now, bro, this is like match number 2 on the card type shit. Like, this is not looking good, my man. Okay? So, anyways, they need to do these things to clean this up, make Gunther look absolutely menacing, violent, decimate everybody in his path leading up to WrestleMania. Get Jey in there with some established, great guys like Chad Gable, like I said, Pete Dunne, Carmelo Hayes, Kofi, to make sure Jey looks as good as possible leading up into WrestleMania, just from a, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, from that type of view. So they need to do that. If they can do these things, hey, it might just save WrestleMania when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship match, Jey Uso versus Gunther. But if they don't do these things, if they don't get this shit cleaned up, because they're running out of time, if they don't get this cleaned up and cleared up, then Jey Uso may very well go down as the worst Royal Rumble winner of all time. Okay? And that's tough for me to say because Jey Uso's really my guy. That's my guy. Down since day one type ish. You know what I'm saying? Like since the tag team days. Man, and in the bloodline, like in the bloodline, that's my guy. Like for real, for real, for real. Like that's when I'm like, Brethren, Jey Uso. Like, it's the guy, you know? So it's a shame. It's a shame. I really had high hopes and I thought, Jey Uso would prove this to all of y'all. But right now, I don't know. I'm getting kind of worried, man. I've been getting worried. So hopefully not. All right? But all right? Do your thing, all right? Let's chat about it. Let's chop it up. Let's rap about it. All right? So like, dislike, comment, no comment, yeet, no yeet. Share, subscribe. And boom, bam, bim. And we in.